Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. Very excited to see you guys hopping on already. We have quite the topic today, you guys. And surprisingly enough, it's going to bring you a lot of healing. So I hope you stick with me through this. I have a great message for you today, and I want you to stick around. Let me see if I can get the lighting a little better. There you go. Hey, so it has been one kind of crappy couple of maybe days. I don't know. Maybe a week weather wise, because I am in that jet stream of polar, I don't know what you call it, vortex or something, where we got, oh my goodness, we froze here and a lot of pipes burst. And luckily ours did not. So praying for those who were affected by that with electricity. So you guys, that was a huge crappy this past week. And we got a bunch more snow as well. And hey, the happy though is I got to go out and shovel snow. I know a lot of people don't like doing that, but I actually enjoy shoveling snow. So I got to do that. That was my happy. And anyway, those were my happies and crappies. How have you guys been doing? John, good to see you. Shalom, everyone. And Obi-Wan, howdy. Good to see you. Frost is best in world, says hello. Yay! Says I'm early for once. Okay. Glad that you're early. Obi says I have no life courtesy of my narc. That's why I'm here early. Oh, I have no life courtesy of my narc. That's why I'm here early. Aw. No, you know what? We create the life we want as well. I mean, yes, there are consequences and things that happen um, sometimes from other people that are caused by other people, but then we still have choices. As long as we still have choices, uh, we can still guide our life in the direction we want. So stick in there. I mean, hang in there, Obi. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. So let me see. Oh, Frost is best in world says good morning from the winter wonderland known as Texas. I know. Oh my goodness. I have friends in Texas um, whose power have been going on and off. They've been making it work though, so very resilient people. So God bless them, and praying for those who are suffering there because of the shutdown, the electric shutdown. You guys, um, you don't realize how much you need it until it's gone, and how much you actually use it until it's gone. So praying for those guys. Um, yeah, Frost's Best says that too. We all live in the Arctic now. Yeah, what happened to global warming? I know this sounds terrible, and hopefully you guys won't get mad at me for this, but there were times I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a little global warming actually, where I am. Uh, Let me see here. Aw, that's nice. Obi says, I do great every day thanks to this and other similar channels, but thanks. I'm good. I'm glad. Glad that you're doing well there. Jihad, good morning. Oh, you guys. Yeah, Obi, you keep talking about that, but it's true. I can understand what you're saying there. I can understand what you're saying there. The mind tricks that narcissists play on us, it's really interesting when we are aware of what they're doing and then we take control. Like we don't fall in line with their manipulations, and instead we end up guiding or steering them in the direction we want them to go, which is essentially away from us. So it's really quite interesting when you're standing on the other side now and you're able to discern and recognize their manipulations. It's so amazing. It's almost amusing, right? That you can sit back and watch how they play people, the lies that they spin. It's insanity. And sometimes it's really frustrating, especially when they have collected a fan club around them that's cheering them on, and you're like, what the heck? How do these people not see through this? And the reason they don't see through it is because they've never woken up from it, right? This might be their first experience with a narcissist, or it might be that narcissist after narcissist come into their life and use them, and they just haven't woken up to it because they want to believe the lies. They want to believe that they are loved. They want to believe that they're special, right? Everything that the narcissist does to penetrate their ability to discern, their ability to judge character. The narcissist just brings down those walls by telling their target, their fan club, their new supply, how much they love them and how special they are, and just spending an enormous amount of time and attention on them. And people just want to believe that. They want to believe they're on the good side. They want to believe they're part of something big and wonderful and great and special. And so they will fall for the lies of the narcissist. And while we sit back or stand back and we're watching this and we're like, what the heck is going on? How is the narc getting away with this? Because we can see that they're laying it on thick. We can see that they're manipulating. We can see that these are just words, right? Once you wake up to the fact that narcissists use words as if they have no meaning, really. I mean, well, they know they have meaning, but the meaning, they will use that for manipulation. Whereas we see their meanings having value, right? We value words. We value what we say to others. In the Bible it says, let your no be no, your yes be yes. And narcissists don't think of that. They're like, no, I can say no when I mean yes, and I can say yes when I mean no. Whatever it takes to manipulate the person in front of me. So when we are aware of the power of words and how narcissists will use them, we no longer are under the spell of their words. You guys, words have power, and we know that. But those who are being manipulated by them, they think that the narcissist's words have meaning. They think that the narcissist's words have value, and they don't. Once we recognize that, we can wake up from it. So hopefully other people will start to wake up from that as well. And join us, right, in the land of sanity. You guys, it's so insane. It's just frustrating when you look around and you see people who are living in the insanity, right? In the insane asylum. And you're like, why? Why are you staying there? Wake up, get out of there. But they won't. They actually want to go back for more and more from the narcissist. Which brings us, by the way, to our title today. Does the narcissist come back? Does the narcissist come back to you? Will the narcissist try to reconnect? Maybe even hoover you? Well, if you're new to narcissistic abuse, this may be all new to you. But if you've been around and you've heard a few others, like everybody I know talks about the hoover, right? And the re-hoover. The narcissist will come back time and time again. Now, there are some of you out there who have not experienced this. You have not experienced the narcissist coming back. Count yourself as blessed, okay? Count yourself as very lucky that the narcissist has not come back. You don't want the narcissist to come back, but a lot of times they will. Sometimes they don't because they have moved. Like they've moved across the country. They've moved to another town. So they've started a new track in their life. And if you're lucky, they will have forgotten about you. That I have mentioned before. People who have had a narcissist come back again and again and interrupt their life, and not in a good way, you guys. It might seem like a dream at first, like they've come back and they're so sorry and they seem like they regret what they've done and they're trying to make it up to you, making all kinds of promises, maybe even doing a few things for you, right, to show you that they've changed. And then once you allow them back into your life again, once you bring down your walls, of protection, and you let them back in, they will destroy and tear apart all of the trust that you finally learned to build up again, right? And the second time around is so much worse than the first. And some people have stuck around for a third and fourth time, you guys, because, they want so much to believe in humanity, the humanity that they think the narcissist has. But you guys, you are lucky if the narcissist doesn't come back. But let's talk about when they do and why they do, because I think that will bring you a lot of healing. Even if they've never come back to you, knowing that the characteristic of your ex narc will help you to heal and help you to let go of the pain and the hurt. Well, you guys, so does the narcissist keep coming back? Yes, they do. Even if they don't contact you, they are thinking about you. So you're lucky if they're not contacting you. Please, please understand that. But even if they are not contacting you, they're thinking about contacting you. Honestly, they are. They're probably driving by, checking on you. They're probably, peeking in on your social media if they still have access, which, of course, you all know by now to block them, right? But even if you don't block them, they do come and look for you. And even if you do block them, they will check on mutual friends, right? People that you guys have in common, and kind of feel around or even listen on conversations when you are brought up or someone mentions that you got a promotion or you moved somewhere or you bought a new car or something like that. They are listening. That's their way. Excuse me. That's their way. I've got a little bit of a tickle in my throat. I gotta have some water. So hold on, you guys. I just jumped right in there this morning and should have had a break to have a drink. So, yeah, they are listening in on conversations. They're checking on you. That's their way of coming back. But some of you will have experience and will experience in the future them actually contacting you, texting you, or calling you, or even coming to your door and knocking on it. Okay, so think about this. You have to prepare for this possibility. And I know initially you might think, oh, I want that, oh, I wish they would do that. And you're hoping for that to happen. That's like hoping that a burglar would come back to your house, right? I mean, someone who will come in and destroy and steal everything you have. We're not seeing straight when we're thinking that way. Just like a lot of people who are not seeing straight when they're being mesmerized by the narcissist. So, you guys, let's go into this. So, why do narcissists come back? It's because they often slip backwards, okay? Even though it looks like narcissists are moving forward, they're building their dream, they've started dating somebody else. They may even have gotten engaged and married or started to have children with this other person already, like just a couple of weeks after leaving you. But the problem is, these are just for show. Narcissists do not actually move forward. They bombard their way through to the future, right? With people who are willing to put up with their nonsense, people who are willing to entertain them or allow them to come in and take from them. Narcissists are constantly looking for new supply that they can drain and take things away from. But so here's the deal. This is why they slip backwards, because they're the same person. They don't change. They're still miserable. They're still users. They still don't know how to mature and grow. They don't know how to change. They don't even actually want to change because they pride themselves on already being perfect. You guys remember that? They think they're already perfect. And so they will continually slip backwards. And that's why they will come back from time to time. They're thinking back at you or about you, right? And they don't see that they had done as terrible a thing as they had done to you. Because in their minds, they don't recognize their responsibility in the destruction of your relationship. They don't see that what they did was as terrible as what you and I can see that they did. All right. They only see that, they see through a different lens. They see through this weird narrative where they are the hero, right? They're the good guy. So whatever bad has happened, it must be because of what you did. So in their minds, they manipulate. This is the weird part. They manipulate themselves into believing their own lies. So if they believe their own lies, then they will think that you want them back. They will think that you were the cause of the problems in their relationship. So obviously, you're going to love it when they come back. And that's what they are imagining. That's what they're thinking about themselves. Like they can only add value to your life. And they don't see that they came in, just wrecked your life, right? Just destroyed your finances, took advantage of your trust, made you emotionally distraught, right? They would take off in the middle of the night, or they would take off for 2 or 3 days and not tell you where they went. Well, of course, they're out with other people doing who knows what, right? Cheating on you. But they don't remember any of that. All they remember are the good things that they did to you or for you, right? The good things that they did in the relationship. So they convince themselves that you want them back. They convince themselves that they are good for you. And that's why they come back. Because they think that you're thinking the same thing. Like, oh, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you want them back when they brought so many good things into your life, or they made your life so much better. And they'll forget the time that they wrecked your car, or they'll forget the time that they stole, $1,000 from your bank account. They'll forget the time that they cheated on you and how awful you felt. And they'll convince themselves that you want them back. And by the way, they do look for clues also from you. So this is why it's so important that you don't give them any indication that you want them back. So they will look to see if you've been checking on them. They'll look to see, and I think there are ways to do this, to see who's been looking at your story or who has been, I'm not quite sure how they do this in different apps. You're able to actually track somebody who's been watching or reading or following you, right? So they're going to do that to see if you are paying attention, if you are still interested in them. And that's when they start to form in their minds that you actually want them back and that they are good for you. Another reason that they might be coming back is because they don't really heal. They only run from their consequences, right? So they're just as damaged as when you first found them. It's not like they've gotten stronger, better, more healthy. They've moved on to another level of maturity. They don't do that. They don't heal. So since they only run from their consequences, it's only a matter of time before they will circle back. They will circle back to people that they're familiar with, that they think they haven't completely burned the bridges with, right? And they're going to need you. They're going to need you to prop them back up. Because after a while in their new life, if you will, consider it that, when they have moved on from you and then they destroy this new life that they have, they're going to have to fall back. They're going to have to fall back to possibly old supply who could give them the push or the help or the support they need in order to escape their current consequences, their new consequences of a disaster of a life that they created for themselves. And so they think that it's almost like a lava flow, like you want to run when the volcano is erupting, right? Lava is hot, it's going to destroy and burn everything in its path. And so they run. They run from that. And then when the lava has cooled and it seems like it's solid again and the ground is now fertile because of it, they'll look back and they're like, wow, everybody's doing great now, where the lava used to be flowing and burning and destroying everything in its path. Now there are new plants, so you have a new life. There are there's new growth. It seems like the soil is so much more rich now, and just like your life, right? You've picked up, you've gotten stronger, you're doing so much better for yourself. And they look back where there used to be destruction, where they had run from, right? When they had run from you. And now they're looking back and they're like, wow, everything looks really good over there again. So they're going to come back. It's almost like honey attracting bees or honey attracting flies, right? Yeah. Well, you guys, let's see what some of your thoughts are on this. And then I'm going to share with you a couple of other things about this topic. Mm. Uh, Jennifer, good to see you here. Says it's so good to be back here because life's been rocky lately for sure, and I need some therapy, good words, and new positive ideas. Oh, so glad that you're here. Um, oh, okay. You've been watching after work, and I'm glad that you're here. Ross is best in the world says moving away was the best decision of my life. The narc messaged after I did, saying she checked the mail and accused me of stealing her W-2, then left a subtle, that's not the only reason I came over. Uh-oh, right? Just feeling you out. Narcissists will do this. They will try to sneak back and insert themselves back into your life. Yep. John Bailey, good morning. Rye Shines, good to see you. I would agree with that. The ex-narc is a lying lizard. You know what? That would be a great title for your narc's contact name. I don't know if you guys have heard this before. You know, I've said it a few times, but if you haven't heard me say this lately, if you are having a hard time snapping into reality, like waking up because you're still, I hate to say it, but you feel like you're still in love with the narcissist, I want to tell you it's not love. It's other things that are causing you to feel this way. But you still have their contact in your phone and information and phone number, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. If you label that contact lying lizard, so that when they contact you, if they should text you, you're not going to see their name come up, which is going to make you reminisce about wonderful things about them, right? And then be all excited. But if you see, instead of their name come up, you see lying lizard pop up on your phone, your reaction is not going to be like, oh, I want that lying lizard back in my life. You're going to feel like, oh, what the heck? I don't want that lying lizard in my life. And that will snap you back to reality and allow you to discern what's about to come, right? What they're about to send to you or say to you, and their efforts to get back into your life. Yep. Yep. Frost's Best in the World says, love when you say stuff that hits home. The narcissist went to therapy for like one session and told me she was fixed, and the therapist told her nothing was wrong with her. Oh my gosh, right? Yeah. Wait, let me see. No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, narcissists are weird. Not just weird, but they will accuse you of doing things that are ridiculous. Hold on, you guys. Yep. Lady Marks asked, do they think they ignore, ghost, disappear for days, constantly have a broken phone, even when they are married to the new supply? Yes. Yes. They will do that to the new supply. Oh, Mario says the sound is low. Let me see. Are you guys all experiencing that? I don't know, but let me turn up the sound. I wonder if that'll help. Hold on. There we go. I meant, do you think they treat the new supply, even when married, oh, the same way they did to you? Yes, absolutely, they do. Even if they had only dated you, right? They did not make that further commitment of marriage. And then with the new supply, they do. They make that further commitment. And here's the thing, you guys, they have to up the ante with each relationship. Like they have to go a little bit further with each relationship to prove to the new supply that the new supply is somehow different, right? Somehow has a different position in their life than the previous supply. So just because they do that doesn't mean they actually care or love the new supply. It just means that they're they have to try harder to convince the new supply that the new supply is different than you, is not in the same position, or that they value the new supply more than they value you, because the new supply is going to see how they treated you. The new supply is going to see that a lot of times they cheated on you with the new supply, right? So now the new supply wants to know, are you going to do the same thing to me? And the narcissist has to up the ante and say, no, I'm not going to do the same thing to you, because look, I'm marrying you and I didn't marry my old supply. So now the new supply has to, well, they don't have to convince themselves, but they do convince themselves that they are extra special, right? That they hold a special, higher position in the narcissist's life than you did. But here's the deal. That's all manipulation. And remember what I said at the beginning about words? It's all just words. And even actions are just actions with no value behind them. Narcissists are like this. We live in a world where, for ourselves that we've created, in order to have community, we have to trust each other, right? In order to have, to live at peace with one another, we have to have our words mean something and our actions mean something. So we value that in other people. That's how we navigate through life. That's how we determine whether someone is honest or sincere or is worthy, by their actions and their words, right? But narcissists are not worthy of their actions or their words. And they will use words and actions to manipulate people. Actions and words mean absolutely nothing to them. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a video earlier, on when I started this channel, when I talked about narcissists being the best salespeople. Yeah, because they don't care if they rob you blind. They don't care if you go into financial ruin, so long as they get their hands on your money. And they will say and do anything to do that. There have been narcissists, blue collar narcissists, but also white collar narcissists, who will cheat people out of their life savings. And they have no remorse, no regret. They have no conscience about what they just did or what they're working on, what they're doing to many people. So this is what we have to recognize. Narcissists are not your normal average person. They're not someone that you can reason with, because, first of all, they have a separate goal than you do. You want to actually build a relationship. They want to benefit themselves, which has nothing to do with building a relationship, right, in their eyes. Although relationships are like one of the best things you can have in your life. But this is not the way narcissists see people. They see people as objects to be used. So this is why I say, when the narcissist tries to come back into your life, do not delude yourself into getting excited. Do not think that this is something that's going to end up in a wonderful, beautiful way, because it won't. The narcissist does not see you as a person that they want to share life with, as a person that they want to love and cherish and get to know better and grow old with and even mature with, right? They only see you as a stepping stone to their next destination. And then after that, they will step onto another stone to their next destination. And sometimes they go backwards, and that's the revisiting, right? They find themselves at the end of their path or their bridge, and there's nowhere to go. So they will backtrack. They will go back to old supply in order to find a new route for themselves to another life. So even though they come back, it's only going to be temporary. It's only going to be until the next good thing comes into their life or a good opportunity comes into their life. And you don't want to be a stepping stone for them. No. Reject that right now. You have to help yourself wake up from their manipulations, from their words, from their lies. And this is why we're talking about this today. Well, you guys, yep. Yeah, Jennifer, good to see you, says he wanted to marry everyone he was with. He had 2 promise rings, and I once found a letter that he wrote to a woman he met for 3 weeks. And in that letter, he stated he had seen her as his wife. You guys, words, right? Just words to these people. I have heard that line before, by the way. Narcissists will say things like, "You're the kind of woman I would marry." Or to a man, "You're the kind of man I had always pictured myself marrying." Okay? Or "You're the kind of man I always had pictured myself building a life with." Okay? So here's the thing. You're not the person. You're not that man, and you're not really that woman that they are. Or you're the image of you fits their narrative for now, right? For now. Like maybe it's your looks, maybe it's your bank account, maybe it's the car you drive. That's what they see in their life. That's what they see as the thing that they pictured themselves with in the future. But then when it comes down, and then you think, oh my gosh, they said I'm the kind of woman they would marry. But apparently you're not the woman they're going to marry. You're just similar. You're on the in the same grouping of people, right? That they like. You're their type, but you're not the person. And that's how they get around telling you the truth and yet still leading you on. They want to make you think, take that extra step beyond what they just said. And you're going to think, oh, I'm the kind of woman they would marry, which means they may propose to me. And that's exactly what they want you to assume. So, again, words mean nothing to the narcissist. And they'll say this and watch your eyes light up. They'll say this and watch you get excited. And it's so sociopathic, you guys. It's psychotic that they study people by watching how they react to their words. And they'll watch your reaction and see you get all happy and then suddenly very lovey-dovey with them. And then that just that's like a reward to them, right? It's like we are rewarding their bad behavior. We're rewarding the fact that they're lying to us, which then encourage them to continue lying, continue manipulating. And this is what you will be inviting back into your life if you accept them coming back, when they try to come back into your life. Well, you guys, why does the narcissist keep coming back, right? Hold on, you guys. Oh, man. My dog, he likes to chew up his toys, so he's chewing on one of his toys over here. Why do they keep coming back? Why are they trying to reinsert themselves into your life? It's because they continue to lie to themselves, like they lie to everyone, right? We covered this a little bit earlier. They believe their own delusion. right? They believe their own lies that they tell you. And they can't see why you won't continue to believe their lies when they believe their lies. And so they will come back and say, well, didn't I tell you you were the kind of woman I would marry? Didn't I tell you you were the man that I could see myself with and raising a family with or building a life with? Didn't I see? They'll try to convince themselves that there was some value still left with you. And then they're going to try to convince you that that's how they had felt all along, even though they had wandered, even though they had picked up two or three other supply along the way, even though they had left you for 2 years or whatever it is, right? 3 months, and never contacted you. And yet they act as if that segment of their life didn't really exist, and they're coming back and they're just going to pick up right where they left off with you. And they don't see why you wouldn't accept that because they've created this narrative in their head that the story just took a pause, right? We were just on a commercial break, you guys. Like, I was just on a commercial break with you, and I came back, and why are you all mad at me? You're like, what the heck? There's no commercial break in life, in a relationship. What is wrong with you? And they won't see it. They really convince themselves that this is normal. Taking breaks like that is normal, where they just completely disappear from your life. And then when they're ready to come back because they just destroyed all of that, or the new supply wakes up to it sooner than they expected the new supply to wake up and has kicked them out. And now the narcissist is like, well, I'm back, took my little commercial break. Are you ready? Why aren't you opening the door for me? Why aren't you letting me back in? What did I do to you? I've always told you that eventually we would be married. And it's a lie, you guys. It's a lie. It's just words. So that is the most convincing thing, though, that they will do is they'll relive the narrative. They'll rehash the narrative that they played while they were with you. And some people will call it the future faking, right? So all the promises they made to you, they will rehash it. They will replay it as if it was still on target. Like they were always planning to finish this narrative. They were always planning to finish that fake future, that they created. And that you're the reason why they're not able to, right? They're going to start saying, well, you're the one holding it up. You're the one who's not allowing me to finish this beautiful love story that I started with you. And it doesn't occur to them at all what they did to you. Because remember, they how do you say that? They, not downgrade, they downplay what they did to you. They don't even see that they destroyed you and that they crushed your heart when they left. They don't even see that you were in incredible pain when they wouldn't even call you or even accept a phone call from you or respond to your text. And I've known some viewers who've written in and said, that the narcissist just cut them out like cold turkey and moved on. And with no explanation, wouldn't even take a call from them, wouldn't explain anything, just disappeared. And they don't see that there's anything wrong with that. The narcissist, that is, right? So here's the deal, you guys. So how do you make sure that you don't fall for it? How do you make sure you don't fall for it when the narcissist tries to come back into your life? Oh my gosh, you guys, I have one right now that's funny thing is I am seeing this narcissist that I had in my life, the covert narcissist I've told you guys about in the past. Hold on, you guys. I'm dropping papers. I have this notebook on my lap, and apparently I have about 20 little slips of paper tucked into it. So what do? So there's this covert narcissist that I'm starting to see pop up in different social groups I belong to. And I'm like, what the heck? I don't want to see this person pretty much at all. I mean, I'm not holding a grudge. It's just that I know that this person is a user, right? This person is unhinged. And I don't need any more crazy in my life at all. But here's the deal. Part of me, if you had asked me maybe 3 years ago, I probably would have accepted this person back into my life. I probably would have thought, oh, forgive and forget, and people change and people will grow. This is before I really fully understood what narcissistic abuse was. And before I understood what covert narcissism was, this person still is very. Ugh. If I hadn't known any better, I would be still pulled back into their life because I would feel sorry for this person. I would feel sympathy for this person. I would feel like, oh, I can help this person by being a friend to them when they're down, right? This is what a lot of us will do. But guess what? You're not the narcissist savior, okay? You are not responsible for the narcissist growing up and becoming a better person. You're not responsible for the narcissist continually blowing up their own life. You're not responsible to go back and pick up all the pieces for them. You have to let them do it on their own. Sadly, they're not going to do it. They're just going to latch on to other supply, other sympathetic people, other people who will open their homes and welcome them in. And then that narcissist is just going to blow up their life. Because narcissists are jealous, vengeful, destructive people. You don't need that in your life. And it's okay that you see the narcissist around. It's okay that you may share some mutual acquaintances. All right. Don't tell your mutual acquaintances about the narcissist. Don't talk about the narcissist, because the more you do that, the more you start to create attachments and connections to the narcissist. So here I am. I've got this covert narcissist that's starting to circle around inside of my new social circles. I'm like, what the heck? But those new social circles, I don't have to be, luckily, those are not my main social circles. They're just kind of peripherally there. I like the people in it, but I don't spend an awful lot of time with them. Now that I see the covert narcissist mingling and mixing inside of that group, I'm going to not leave the group, but I'm not going to be as involved. And there really isn't any reason to. I mean, the group is there for a certain purpose in my life and a certain reason, and I can contribute to that group, but without making it my main group. And you don't want to make any group that the narcissist is in your main group. By the way, there have been people, viewers who've written to me asking about that they share the same friends, that they go to the same watering holes, that they have the same social groups. And what do they do now? And sadly, what will happen is the narcissist will work that group to come against you, right? So you don't want to get engaged in that. You want to just enjoy the group for who they are. You want to enjoy the people for who they are. You want to contribute to the group and still be yourself. And whatever the narcissist does, they're going to do. You don't have to play along in their narrative. You don't have to play along by their rules even. You play by your own rules. You create your own relationships. You start your own interactions with this group. And they're either going to love you and want you, or they're going to be as spiteful and horrible as the narcissist and start to backstab you. That's why you want to kind of keep them not your main social group. You don't want to keep them your only group of people to go to, right? To have interactions or connections with. So you guys, when the narcissist tries to reinsert themselves into your life, How do you not fall back into wistful thinking, into missing them, or into even deluding yourself that it would be okay to have them back in your life? How do you avoid that? And this is where I want to help you guys. One of the things that has helped me from falling back into where I was are good habits. Good habits and routine, you guys. Good habits and routine. Think about that. What do you want to start doing in your life that will start to build your life? I started a few different things. One of the things I've also recommended to you guys is make your bed. I mean, it is so simple, but make your bed every day. And I started doing that, I don't know, actually, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. Just every day, just starting, just making my bed. And at first, it was a little cumbersome. It was a little bit like, but I'm just going to use it again. And sometimes I take a nap. So, like, especially on the weekends, right? Sometimes I'm just going to mess up the bed again. But here's the deal, the more I stuck with it, and every day I have stuck with it. I think there have been a couple of days when I didn't make the bed, but until late. But then eventually I'll make it. But what happens in my head and what happens in my life is that I started to put some order back into my life. So every time I walked back into my bedroom and the bed was made, it was refreshing. It was, subliminally, I was helping myself feel good. I was helping myself feel uncluttered. I was helping myself clear my mind. And I didn't realize that. All I knew was I felt good. It looked, I wouldn't stand there and stare at my bed for hours or anything like that. But you walk through your room and you're like, I feel good. This feels nice. And you go get what you need to get and you leave the room. And you take that good feeling with you when you leave the room. So start creating some routines in your life that are going to build up your life. There's another thing that I did, and I had recommended this as well. I started learning a foreign language, a different foreign language, and I want to learn like 5 different ones. I am on, of course, I have English. I am semi-fluent in French, and I have started Spanish, and I'm doing it very slowly, but I'm doing it every day. Every day. Some days I only do a couple of minutes, but some days I do half an hour. So it's really, but every day I do Spanish, a little bit of Spanish, whether it's watching a commercial or watching TV or on an app that teaches me languages or on YouTube where someone's teaching a lesson on Spanish. I am loving it. And, I don't actually know the benefits of it right now, but it feels like something good. It feels like I am adding to my value for myself, right? Like this is something I value. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I want to add 2 more languages. And actually, I'm going to be practicing French with a friend of mine. Actually, it's her daughter who's taking a course. And it's her first semester in French. And I offered to go ahead and do to go through that course with her and help her. So I'm very excited about that. Uh, these are routines that I have started, that I had put into my life. And these routines will keep you from falling backwards. These routines will bring you back into a reality that's a good, positive reality. So you want to create good habits. Another good habit that I did and that I have recommended was exercising a little bit every day. Every day, you guys, every day. I know people are like, oh, I go to the gym 2 times a week or 3 times a week or whatever it is. And I spend 2 hours there. I'm like, that's great. And I guess maybe for those of you who that's your routine, keep doing that. But if you're not doing anything at all, if you're not doing anything physical that is good for your body, I would recommend that you start doing a tiny bit of exercise every day. And even if it's just stretching, okay? Start with that. Start with stretching, you guys. So I started doing lunges, some stretching, some push ups, a couple of sit ups uh, every day. And I feel stronger. I feel good physically. I feel good. There was a time when I want to say probably 3 years, 4 years ago, when I started kind of giving in to my body is not the way it needs to be, right? And I'm like, I guess I'm just going to accept this. But then I decided, you know what? I've seen some motivational videos of people in their, what is it, 60s, 70s winning weightlifting or bodybuilding competitions. And I was like, what the heck? If they can do it, why the heck wouldn't I want to do it? So I started doing this. And I have people in my life who, ever since they were in their 30s, were complaining about their body falling apart. And now, with each decade, these same people continually complain about how their bodies are falling apart. And, with each year, they keep reminding me that they're this much older. So, what do you expect? This is where my body is headed. And some of these people I've known for a couple of decades. And I look at them, and guess what? They are in bad shape. They are in horrible shape. And I look around and I'm like, I'm looking at your siblings even. And your siblings are doing much better than you. And yet these people will keep saying it's their age. They just kind of give up into whatever age they are. So, you guys, here's the deal. Don't give into some narrative that's going to tear you down. Don't give into some narrative that takes away from you and destroys your life. You get to create the narrative of your own life. At the beginning of this happy crappy hour, we were talking about how, because one of our viewers here commented that they have no life, you know who you are, because of their ex-narcissist. And, thanks to their ex-narcissist. But here's the deal, you guys. That only has so much control over you. As much control as you're willing to give it, by the way. Some of it you can't control entirely. I understand that. Some of it you're going to reap the the consequences of someone who is targeting you. And yes, you're going to have to deal with that. But there are other things in your life that you are in control of, that you still have choices to deal with. And those choices are going to either make or break you. Those choices are either going to build you up or tear you down. Don't give into the narrative, even from the world, right? Even from society, where they act as if, well, once you get into your 40s, you're supposed to get that dad body or that mom body. And I have some friends who have done that. They've given into that. I feel bad about that because they don't have to. They don't have to accept that narrative for themselves. They can decide. Some people will say, well, I've always been this out of shape, right? I've always been this size. I've always struggled with whatever, a physical ailment they might have. And they're buying into the narrative that will destroy them. You don't have to do that. And break it, by the way, reject it. So tell yourself, when you start to accept that and make agreements with that, tell yourself, no, I disagree with that. I'm not going to accept that. And start speaking positivity into your life. Here's the other thing, you guys, and it brings us back again to the narcissist. Remember how I said the words mean nothing to the narcissist? They're just there to manipulate people. While words for us actually have worth. So don't speak words of death onto yourself. Don't speak words of negativity onto yourself. You need to start speaking words of positivity to yourself. You need to tell yourself you can do this. You will do this. You want to do this. You are worthy. You are loving. You are lovely. You are worthy of love. You need to start speaking life over yourself. Start speaking words of life on yourself, over yourself, around yourself. You guys, you cannot go wrong with that. It's a really good habit to start making. It's a really good routine to get into. Now, why do I even talk about that? It sounds like one of those frou-frou, self-help, think positively and positive things will happen to you. Here's the deal. If you think positively for just one day a month, I don't think that's going to really change you. That's not really going to change your attitude. It's not really going to change your mentality. It's not going to change what's in front of you. But if you start speaking words of life over yourself regularly, every day, right? Say something positive to yourself. Think something positive. Catch yourself when you're starting to go down this crazy rabbit hole of negativity, right? Catch yourself and say, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to think that. Things are going to work out. Life is going to be good. And then start doing the routine. So routine cannot only be mental, cannot only be about words. It has to also be about action, you guys. So that's why something as small as making your bed every day, or doing a few stretches or a bit of exercise for 2 minutes. And this is what I challenged my viewers a couple of years ago. 2 minutes is all it took for me to do the exercises I needed. 2 minutes, you guys. And from those 2 minutes, I would do lunges and maybe 10 push-ups. So I started doing lunges, and it would take me, well, to begin with, I could only do a few, but then I was able to do about 120. So 120 lunges took me about 2 minutes, right, to do. And then I would do maybe 10, 20 push-ups. And, okay, total maximum of maybe 3 minutes, right, a day. 2 to 3 minutes a day, you guys, has changed my outlook, has changed how I feel about myself, has changed the narrative of, oh, my body's just getting weaker, I'm just getting older, that's what happens, your body deteriorates, all that crap. You guys, yes, our bodies are deteriorating, but you can also build. Here's the deal. There are a lot of people that I know who were not the most athletic when they were in high school. And it wasn't until they were out of high school and well into their 30s and 40s that they started taking care of themselves. And now they are healthier than they were even back in high school. They are at they have more energy, they're stronger, they're more athletic, they look lean, and they look awesome. And I'm just like, you guys, at any point in your life, you can start this. That's why those videos of people in their 70s winning bodybuilding competitions just blow me away, because they are in better shape than most teenagers are today, you guys. And they're in their 70s, all right? So think about that. You get to choose where you are headed. You do. So when the narcissist tries to reinsert themselves into your life, and you've been on this path of getting stronger, of getting healthier, of putting and implementing good habits and good routines into your life, you're not going to want the junk that the narcissist is offering. You're not going to want the lame words, right, of affirmation that they might give you. You're like, okay, I already know that I'm strong and I'm good, and I have good people in my life, and I've built up relationships in my life. And here comes someone who's a total disaster. Of course, their life has gone off the rails, and that's why they come back, by the way. They have destroyed their new life with the new supply. They have gotten into worse debt. They have they've wrecked their life. They've wrecked their car. They've burned down their house, essentially, right? And now they need or want to come back into your life. And at that point, you're going to be able to say, oh, that's okay. No, thank you. But if you want to help them, give them a little something, handout, whatever, do what you're willing to do and say goodbye to that. Like, I've always thought when you give somebody money, don't expect it back. Just, I want to give it to you, so I want to give you what I'm willing to give you. And if they want to pay you back, if they try to pay you back, that's fantastic. But if they don't, you already had written it off. That's how you have to approach narcissist. If you want to help them, you give them only what you're willing to give. You don't allow them back into your life, by the way, or and access to more than what you're willing to give, by the way. But you give what you're willing to give, and then you don't expect anything back because you're not going to get anything back. But if somehow they do you a favor and they do something nice for you, great. That's fine. That's wonderful. But don't rebuild with them. Don't have them come back into your life and have access to people that you care about, or have access to your finances, or have access to your home or your car. You don't want that. So, you guys, I hope that has helped you. I hope that you start to implement something that gives you structure in your life and something that becomes a good habit in your life. I gave you a few that I have started. I've done a few other things as well. And, not all at once, okay? I didn't do this all at once. It was one little thing. And I think I started with exercise. I think I started with doing 2 minutes. Like I just told myself, okay, I can do 2 minutes of exercise every day. Like if I can't fit 2 minutes of exercise in, there's something tragically wrong with my schedule. There's something tragically wrong with my life if I cannot fit 2 minutes. And that's all you do. Do 2 minutes. Like during a commercial. I mean, not that anybody watches TV anymore, but you know what I mean? But if you do, think of it like that. That's a real commercial break. During the commercial break, do something beneficial for yourself. Do 2 minutes of lunges. Do 2 minutes of sit-ups. Do 2 minutes of stretching, right? Or alternate. Do a few seconds of each of those things. And as you put that into your life, and you'll remember it too, like you'll go to bed one day and you're like, oh, I didn't do any lunges today. Well, guess what? It only takes 2 minutes. So what's the big deal? Get out of bed, do your 2 minutes, and then go to sleep. You're going to find that you're going to sleep much better. You're going to find that your body will start to get stronger. And as your body starts to get stronger, your mind is going to get stronger. And as your mind gets stronger, you're going to be able to discern what's real and what's fake from the narcissist. So you guys, when the narcissist tries to come back into your life, you're going to be prepared. Well, you guys, my hour is up, but I want to go back and we'll take a look at all the comments that are coming in. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. I hope that if you missed the beginning, that you would go back and watch from the beginning, because this is life-saving information. I want to share with you because these are the things that I've experienced, I've gone through, that has helped me in a huge way and continues to help me. As narcissists, my ex-narcissist, if you will, have tried to come back into my life. And I've been able to respond in a way that's healthy and that prevents me from falling backwards. All right, Lady Marks, good to see you. Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't go back far enough, but Lady Mark said she went to a hockey game in person. Nothing like watching a game in person. The energy is fantastic and so fun. You're so right. I've forgotten about that. Going, oh, okay, Lady Mark says, I miss hockey, so maybe you didn't go. Oh, that's cool. Lady Mark said she used to work for the Ducks before they stopped playing at the Honda Center. That's in Oregon, right? Portland? That's cool. Yep, Jihad. Don't need that narc in my life at all. True. Yep. Oh, how far back? Aw, Free Spirit, good to see you. Good day. Yeah, Obi says, these losers are so predictable. Yes, they are, aren't they? Mario, good to see you. Lady Mark says, "Oh my gosh, every time I listen to your live chats, it's like you know my ex-narc and he told you our story. How are so many stories the exact same? Do they all get together and talk about what to say? It sure seems like it, right? I've done a video too that says, you know, something about the narcissist playbook. Do narcissists use a playbook? And I think I'll go ahead and include that in the description here after we get off. um, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lady Mark says, I always feel better after working out, but sometimes I get too depressed to move. And that's why I say, even just do the 2 minutes. If you are the kind of person who likes to go to the gym for an hour, every day, or a couple hours every other day, or something like that, and then there are going to be days where, like Lady Marks is saying, you have no motivation, you're depressed, you don't even want to move, do the 2 minutes. Like even a depressed person can do 2 minutes of exercise, even 2 minutes of stretching. Like get on the floor and bend over. Okay? Get on the floor and try to touch your toes. Get on the floor and stretch your legs. Get on the floor and massage through your legs. Lie down flat on your back and just stretch from head to toe, like, towards the walls. And do that for yourself. You will start to feel invigorated. Lance Kai, good to see you. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, but hello. Frosted says, I'm 24 and I feel like my body's falling apart. I think I overdid working out in high school to stand being around my high school sweetheart, Narcissist. Still pushing on, thanks to massage guns, though. That's good. And stretching. Keep doing that. Ginger Sky, good to see you. Working out pulled me out of my depression. Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. So thanks, Ginger, for saying that. I began doing that after my counselor said it's scientifically proven to work better than antidepressants. Yes, get off the drugs, you guys. I'm not saying I'm a doctor and I'm recommending anything, but in order to start getting off drugs, you have to do something different. Start doing positive, healthy things for yourself. And it doesn't have to be an overhaul of your life. It doesn't have to change your entire routine, daily routine. And that's why I introduced just do your 2 minutes. Now, there are days that I do far more than 2 minutes, and there are days where 2 minutes is it. This is all I have the time for because I forgot through the day to do anything. So I put in those 2 minutes at the end of the day, even while I'm brushing my teeth. Like, you're brushing your teeth, and I'll do squats around the house or lunges, as I'm brushing my teeth for 2 minutes. You can fit it in. It's amazing, you guys. Jennifer says, I sleep so much better. I used to always dream of my teeth falling out. Not anymore. Wow. Wow. Yep. Just because. Good to see you, says stretch, strengthen, swim. Oh, that's cool. What's KISS? KISS. Does that stand for something? Ah. Oh, Obi says, what if you don't? Wow, this is a whole total new subject, which we're not going to get in today, but maybe we'll get into it another day. Obi says, what if you don't want to be loved, but have no problem loving others? That is not good because why don't you want to be loved? That is something you want to pay attention to and maybe investigate a little bit. That has to do a lot with self sabotage, Obi. You don't want to be loved because of trust or possibly holding on to hurt, not believing you're worthy, maybe because you don't want to set yourself back up again, right? You don't want someone to take advantage of you. There's a lot behind that question that I can't answer right now, but it is a red flag to indicate there's something that you should work on for yourself. Because part of wanting to be loved is loving others. In order to be able to love others, you need to also learn how to receive love so that you have a healthy balance, by the way. And I'm going to get into that. I'll make a note of it and I will get into that another time. Thank you for asking that. Lady Mark says, I forget my worth and lose it easily when dating a man who ends up being disrespectful. It's like my brain is drawn to people who are terrible to me. The more terrible they are, the more I try. I'm going to therapy and it's still so hard for me to change my thought process. Wow. Lady Marks, that's very much along the same wavelength as what Obi's question was, by the way. That's all about allowing others to actually love you and recognizing you're worthy of being loved and that you should have a standard for yourself, right? This is part of those boundaries I've talked about before. We need to learn to have healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries, by the way, a good indication of what a healthy boundary is would be boundary would you put around somebody that you loved? Would you allow somebody that you loved to be treated? And then think about the things that people can do to them, to be cheated on. Would you allow or want someone you love to be yelled at? Would you want someone you love to be demeaned, called names? Would you want someone you love to have someone just explode on them because they're having a bad day, right? This other person that decides to start cursing at them just because they're having a bad day. Would you want someone you love to be beat up, right? No, right? Everything that you think about, that the boundaries that you would set around someone you love from getting hurt, you need to have those same boundaries for yourself, right? Someone you love, wouldn't you want them to experience being loved? So if you want them to experience being loved, well, why wouldn't you want that for yourself, right? So we often, and we a lot of times label this as being empathic, right? But we often put ourselves last. We often think of others first, and we're willing to take and compromise what our dreams are, what our wants and needs are. We do that because for some reason we just assume that we can do it, right? We assume we can handle the stress or I'm trying to think of the word, but sort of the weight of it when we think others can't. So we're going to carry this extra weight so they don't have to. We're going to make life easier for them so that they don't have to work so hard. And yet we're driving ourselves into the ground, right? We're running ourselves ragged. And so we're willing to do that. But then would you want someone you loved to do that to themselves? We have to start thinking about how we treat ourselves is not going to serve the world or even your friends or the ones you loved in the way that you think it would, because you're going to destroy yourself. And then it hurts them to see you getting hurt. I don't know if you understand that, but when you see your loved one getting hurt by something because they allow it to happen in their life, it hurts you, right? It hurts you to watch that happen. Well, the same thing happens when you allow bad things to happen to you, or you take on bad things and burdens that you don't have to or don't need to. Because somebody's having a bad day doesn't mean you get to be their punching bag or that you have to be their punching bag, right? No, any more than you would want someone you love to be someone else's punching bag. So no, just be aware that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I'm not going to take that. And it doesn't take from the other person. The other person has to learn how to socialize, right? Has to learn how to play well with others. So if anything, you actually help the abuser, to learn to learn limits, to learn responsibility, to learn boundaries, healthy boundaries. So, wow, we kind of got off on a different thing there. You guys have some good conversation here. So, thank you all for bringing things like that up. Yeah, Rissa Riss says the narc I was with left and acts like I never existed. He never came back. He got married in 6 months, but never speaks about me or anything. Rissa, here's the thing. You don't know that they don't talk about you, and they probably do talk about you. You don't know that they don't think about you because they probably are thinking about you. Um, Even with the new supply, the narcissist is the same person. You dodged a bullet. I want to let you know that you dodged a bullet. Now their newly married spouse has to deal with them and sadly may have children with them and then will be tied to them pretty much at least for 18 years and possibly for life, depending on how involved the narcissist remains in the children's life. So you dodged a bullet if you were able to get out of there. And it might feel right now like you lost, right? But you didn't. You actually won. Yeah. Obi-Wan. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the fact that your personality, uh, you do call people out, by the way. And it is, I guess, it could be uncomfortable for a lot of people, especially BPDs. That's what's cracking me up. But yeah, you know what? I can appreciate you being real and raw, Obi, by the way. I do appreciate that. I don't always agree with you, obviously, right? I've said it many times where I'm like, I don't think so. But I appreciate you being real. I appreciate you not faking and saying words that we all just want to hear. You know, that's not going to help. We want to be blunt, we want to be real, and even being vulnerable. What Obi has done, you guys, here is he's been vulnerable to admit the stuff he's doing, right? A lot of people would hide that. A lot of people would not just come right out and say what they've been doing, what they're thinking, what they've done. Um, but I think sometimes Obi expresses what we wish, right? So some of us wish we would have done these things. Now, I don't say we should do these things like Obi, you have done, right, in some of these situations, but we've all been there. We've had these thoughts, right? And I want to make sure that we stay real here. I want to make sure that you all feel comfortable and safe. So we're not here to attack anybody. We can disagree, by the way. It's okay to disagree. And it's okay if you disagree with me as well. I've had people come on and they disagree, so long as you're respectful about it. I'm respectful of you guys, and I expect the same back. You guys, that's a healthy boundary, by the way, we just shared right there. So, oh, thank you. Just because says kiss. Oh, I forgot. That's true. Keep it simple, stupid. I forgot. Sleep, swim, stretch. Keep it simple. Okay, got it. Aw, that's great, Obi. Says, I get enough love from a higher source. No, we don't need admiration from men, from others, right? He says, I don't want admiration from man. The person I get my admiration from told me to keep him in my heart and not my mouth. Hey, I like that. I like that. Cluster B, good to see you. Says, escape from, I'm sorry, Cluster B free. I want to say, I'm so sorry. Cluster B free says, escape from Crazytown. Aloha, missed your voice. Yes, the narc comes back. Been stalked, cell hacked, have restraining order for 10 years on the psychopath. Moved to another part of island. Feeling good. Ah, that's fantastic. Aw, this is good. Process Best says, I'm a year in now, and daily people are telling me how my spark is coming back and how much better I'm feeling. It does get better. Yep. Process Best says, that's another thing. It's hard to know what goes on behind closed doors. My narcissist just got a new infinity necklace, like the one I got her from the new supply. It's ironic and telling. Yep. Obi says, I have no shame. LOL. Hey, that's what I like about you. Oh my gosh. So glad you've been around. Yep. Oh, oh, that's rough, Obi. Okay. Says BPD share the same traits narcs do, but more violent about it. Depending. Yeah, you're right. Well, no, I've had some violent narcs. Maybe they were also BPD and narcissistic. Yeah. So crazy. Wow. Oh, cluster be free. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Mario, good to see you. Well, you guys, our hour has been up, and I spent an extra 20 minutes going through some of the comments here. I so appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate this group. I love this group. We will keep this group going, okay? And I will see you here next week. But before you leave, please give me a thumbs up, comment in the comments below the video at some point, and watch a commercial once in a while. Share my videos and recommend my channel. Oh, thank you. I'm seeing a couple of thumbs up coming on. Thank you guys so much. Keep on doing that, and hopefully we'll get this information out there to help other people. Hopefully we'll grow this group in a way that's going to help people get healthier and not get worse. There's some groups out there that are making people worse, and I want to fight that. I want to bring on real situations, real problems, and real solutions that are going to make your life better. And we're going to share this all together for who knows how long, but we'll keep this train going, okay, you guys? Many blessings to you. Love you guys, and I will see you next week.